Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative Eddie Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. We talking sports. We over here laughing. It's Tuesday, and you know what time it is, like two watches. It is time for your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. I go by the name of Eddie Cool, a.k.a. the HOC up in this thing. And before I go any further, thank you for rating, reviewing, subscribing, sharing with your friends, sharing with your enemies, and just sharing with some random people that you don't know. Just share this podcast. Get it out there. We greatly appreciate it now more than ever. And I'm going to start right there before the rambling becomes incoherent, because not only do I have one, I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first live from the front porch in South Carolina, the almighty B-Line.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? As my man Eddie Cool said, I'm actually back home in North Myrtle Beach by way of 2165 Pine Circle Road. I'm going to say this quick little piece to my dad. I love you. I dedicate this and everything that I do to you. He's at peace. I'm at peace. I want to talk sports because, oh, man, sports is that escape from everything. And, man, I love it. I love it. And I love you guys. I appreciate you guys having me and all the prayers and thoughts and everything. I appreciate it very much so. The prayers didn't work on my Carolina Panthers, but I ain't gonna go into that. But we can't even beat Marcus Mariota, bro. Just introduce the other guy, because I'm just grieving over that.
You about to be on your mama's front porch cussing. Brian, what's wrong with you?
Golly.
Oh man! Shout out to the sports mom, the designer of those beautiful pillows. I'm pretty sure if you still want them, she can make something happen for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like you said. Before I knew Scotty D, like I remember Scotty D can tell you, when I came up with the idea of the Sports Bros podcast, it was right when my mom passed away. So I get the escape thing, man. If anybody gets it, this guy get it. All right. Before I start crying, I'm gonna introduce the other co-host. He is everything but the assistant sports director at the Trinity High School. No shade, nothing bad. We're not mad or anything. Just that's how he wants to be introduced. So I got to respect the man's wishes. All right, we're all about respecting wishes, so we got to do that. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Talking about New York. I can't believe it. The Yanks are back in the Fall Classic, and they're playing the Dodgers, which I believe was part of my preseason prediction that those teams would be in there this year. And it'll be more fun than Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers. I'll tell you that much. It'll be more fun than that. Stanton and Judge against Shohei and Muncy. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of star power here. I'm excited for it. Be Live. I am glad to see you. I'm glad that you're here with us. You're like Brett Favre playing on Monday Night Football the day after his father passed. So that means we're expecting this to be one of your all-time greatest shows you've ever done.
You're gonna throw for 500 yards.
I was like, you are not comparing me to Brett Favre, but at that moment in particular, I'll take that. I'm ready for it, bro.
Yeah, you're like Brett Favre today, but just don't take pictures of your junk and send it to anybody. You don't want to be that version of Brett Favre.
And don't steal from Mississippi, the state of Mississippi. All right,
or any of that other fun stuff that Favre did. Yeah.
Before we go any further, breaking news. We need a tone or graphic or something. Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL and MCL yesterday. According to Ian Rappaport, he says the 49ers wide receiver has a long road back for 2025. We're going to talk about the 49ers later in the episode. That being said, you know what? Let's go ahead and slide right into it, shall we? Let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. Okay, all right. So I got a little ahead of myself. I thought we were going to hop into the week that was in the NFL. But before we do that, as Scotty D mentioned, his beloved New York Yankees, they defeat the gritty and tough Cleveland Guardians. Did you see the way Juan Soto hit that ball and just looked at it and leaned, and the ball just kept going and going and going? I think it may have hit the roof of my apartment. Hell, who knows? So he got the Yankees and the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, they defeat the Mets as well too. So that being said, New York versus Los Angeles in the World Series. It's been a while since this has happened, but how excited are we to watch two big market, big money teams play for the championship? Scotty D, I'm gonna start with you first because it's your beloved Yankees that are in it.
I'm really excited for it. I'm super excited for it. I'm more excited for this World Series than I have been for any in a long time. 1981 was the last time that this happened, and I can vaguely remember it as a child watching it. And you guys, I don't believe, were born yet. Whenever the Yankees and Dodgers played in the World Series last time, and in that one, I remember that was like my first glimpse of Yankees and Dodgers rivalry, because at that point, 1981, the Brooklyn Dodgers were not that far in the past. The Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Yankees, the New York rivalry was not that far in the past. The Dodgers revived it after they had moved out to LA, and the Yankees won the first two games and lost the next four, and the Dodgers won the 1981 World Series with Fernando Mania. Fernando Valenzuela was the rookie that year, and he was all the rage. Now, fast forward to 2024, and we've got the big market, big money Dodgers and the big market, big money Yankees. And it's star power. It's Judge. It's Stanton. It's Shohei. It's this is what Major League Baseball probably would want. When you set up WrestleMania as a promoter, you pick the most exciting matchups. You put The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in the ring because that's what everybody wants to see. Those are the big names. That's what this is. This is rare that this has happened. And I know a lot of people will probably resent it because they say, well, this will be the best World Series that money can buy. Well, I mean, if you're the Yankees and Dodgers and you're sitting on all that money, aren't you supposed to use it? There's no salary cap. This is not the NFL. There's no salary cap. This is what you're supposed to do. Go out and pay for the big players. And there are players that have come up through this. Aaron Judge was drafted a Yankee. Anthony Volpe was drafted a Yankee. They went and traded. There was a young kid in Myrtle Beach named Gleyber Torres that got traded to the Yankees and has come up through the system since he was in Single A. So whatever. Give it to me. Give me the star power. Give me the excitement. Give me New York and LA. Give me Giancarlo Stanton, who I owe an apology to because he had 4 hits against Cleveland. They were all home runs, and he became the MVP. And all season long, I kept saying, I can't wait for this guy to get off the books. He's batting .233. He can't hit anymore. He can't stay healthy. He's never in the lineup. And in the biggest moment, the dude came through. So a tip of the cap to him, and tip of the cap to Cleveland, because that was a 4-1 series, but I sure didn't feel like it. Every game was a really good game, and actually the best game of the whole thing, Cleveland ended up winning 7-5. It was a fantastic series for a short series. But give me Yanks and Dodgers, baby.
I was at work watching that game. What was it? Game 5? Was it game 5, Scotty D? Where
the one that Cleveland won was 3.
Oh, it was game 3?
That was game 3. That was the first one in Cleveland. They won.
Wow. When was it Yuniesky Noel hit the big home run, and
yep.
Before that, Stanton hit one, and then Judge hit one. I was like, oh boy, it's fit to be the power show. Oh boy, here we go. Place went crazy. I could hear him losing the everlasting mind. Like I said, if you want to talk about a sports city, Cleveland. Can't say much for them Browns, but the Guardians, I can say everything and then something for them. The Cavs, I can say that too. But them damn Guardians, they love them up here. And I've experienced it. I understand why. Be Live, your take on this series between LA and New York.
Well, I will say this. First off, I'm going to issue a formal apology to our listeners in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because everything that Scotty D just said about the Yankees goes totally against his also rooting for the Pittsburgh Pirates. but
Very true.
they do not spend any money, and it's one of those things where I don't think the Pirates are lacking the funds, but yeah, this World Series absolutely has been bought, paid for, sure for sure. But hey, at the end of the day, we do have the two best teams in baseball. It's been shown through and through. This we like to hear a good story of a small team that came back and got hot at the right time. No, this is the two best teams in baseball. They have the two best records in baseball during the regular season. They've made it through the postseason. Now they go head to head. It's been very rare that the number one seed in the AL and the number one seed in the NL. If I'm not mistaken, right, the Dodgers did finish ahead of the Phillies, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and but yeah, it's number one versus number one. Let's get it. Power on power, pitching against pitching. I think they stack up very evenly. It easily could go seven. Who's gonna be the hotter ball player? Are you gonna get Otani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman? Are you gonna get Juan Carlos Sainz, your Aaron Judge? All rise. Are you gonna man? This is what dreams are made of up in New York, New York, New York. And as I'm also talking about New York, congratulations to the New York Liberty for winning the WNBA championship. And the WNBA needs to schedule their WNBA finals. Don't schedule it against the NFL. Why would you do that?
It's a losing battle.
Nobody do y'all even playing. I was like, I would have. Next thing you know, oh, game five. Oh, they won. It's over. But
they wouldn't. It would have been the same if they were scheduled up against America's Got Talent. It doesn't matter. It's the WNBA. Nobody's watching it.
I would have watched it if I didn't know. Maybe.
Not if America's Got Talents on, because that's a good show.
If I had a choice, what are you watching? I'm watching WNBA because a lot of those talent shows like American Idol and Who's Got Next and all that.
And by the way, America's Got Talent always has people from all other countries on it, judged by 4 judges that are none of which are American. I don't know why that show isn't just called Talent.
Yeah, Who's Got Talent? Yeah, because who is it? It's Simon Cowell and who else? The other judges.
The hot girl from Colombia, the hot girl
Shakira.
She was on the TV show with Al Bundy. The hot Colombian.
Sophia. Oh, okay. Sophia.
Yeah. Her, yeah. And then the girl who I think was married to Seal. She's the hot model.
Heidi Klum.
Yeah, and Howie Mandel, and he's Canadian. So none of them are from the United States. You got 4 judges, none of which are American. And I watch contestant after contestant that come on, and none of them are American either. But anyway, that's not really sports, but it is competition.
Next stop on the Amtrak train. Because we need to get this back on.
But you good though. Be Live, who you got in the world? Yes, Scotty. You said the Yankees in what? You said Yankees in 4 or Yankees?
Well,
in 5?
that's wishful thinking. I'm not 100% sure that the Yankees are good enough to beat the Dodgers, but I'm going to have to pick them because they're the Yankees. They're my squad. They're my second favorite team, so we'll pick the Yankees. Yankees in 6.
Be Live, what say you?
You don't have to do anything. You could go with your gut, not your heart.
Yeah, I know. If Aaron Judge could just not swing at slow pitches, because they always end up at his ankles, and he's swinging and whiffing at these slow. Anything with spin on it comes in slower. He's chasing it down by his ankles. Stop doing that. If he can figure that out between now and Friday, and he gets back on track, then the Yankees in 6. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm going to say the Dodgers in 7. I think it's going to go all 7. I think it's going to be Dodgers in 7. Eddie Cool, what say you?
Lord have mercy. I've wrestled with this one. I'm going to have to go with B-Lab, man. Dodgers in 7. Dodgers. It's going to be tightly contested. It's going to be won by 2 runs, no more than 2 runs. It's going to be tightly contested, and it's all going to come down to the pitching. How did the Yankees make Emmanuel Clase look real average? Gee, what a and Clase was on fire the whole season that was close, but Yankees got his number, man. They got something. They tore his butt up. All right. With that being said, we got baseball out the way. Let's go into the NFL, the National Football League. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Brandon Ayuki's done for the season as a long road back, according to Ian Rappaport, for 2025 season, torn ACL and MCL. Yeesh, that's got to stink. So also, we had some pretty good games yesterday. So Kansas City, they beat the 49ers on Sunday in a Super Bowl matchup. And then the Lions, they gave Minnesota their first L. They said, "Hey Vikings, hold this," which was a great game. Oh, it was a good game. And they're gonna take the Lions take first place in the NFC North. All right, so one of the top trending topics was during the week was the Steelers take on their quarterback selection. Who they started. Here we had Justin Fields playing some pretty decent football at 4-2, and all of a sudden say, I'm going to go ahead and put Russell Wilson in there. All right, so what do you make about the quarterback situation for the Sunday night game with Russell Wilson being in place of Justin Fields? What do you think about that, B-Lad?
I think at first I didn't like it because I was like, you go 4-2, you saw one interception for the entire year. Yeah, I mean, you you're tied atop the division. You're in position to be in the playoff. And the coach
Mm-hmm.
says, you know what? You did all right, but we're going to go in a different direction. But then I really thought about it. They're not going in a different direction. I just think that they're just going in. This was always the direction they were going to go to until Russell Wilson got hurt at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields understands his role. And so when he went in, he did what he was supposed to do. They were competitive. He did his job. He managed the game. He didn't do too much, and they ended up 4-2. Nobody thought they would be that good. And now you put Russell Wilson in, and it takes their offense to another level, which Justin Fields, he just hasn't crossed that threshold yet when it comes to really taking the top off the defense. Touch throws, touch throws, touch throws. Russell Wilson was fantastic at that with those touch throws. At this point in time, we've already taken our hats off and tipped the hat to Lord Jesus, had a brain fart. The coach, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Tomlin. We've already tipped the hat. 17 straight winning season. Might as well go and make that 18. I think that's the number that we're at right now because he is just coaching just the right way to coach. And they look like a much better team than any of us even could have imagined. We had them forced in the division to finish last. This was the year they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to beat 500. And Mike Tomlin just said, you know what? F what you heard. Yeah, I'm
Watch
still
this.
that dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this man has just, yeah, they're doing it right. And Justin Fields took it the right way. I read an article about the post game interview of how he took it and how people were praising him for his like maturity and everything like that. And I haven't heard it yet, but from everybody's reaction, Justin Fields is a top notch guy, and just we hope that he could continue to develop just those nuances of the game and be the great quarterback that some people see in him. And he's got someone to teach him well with Russell Wilson. So, yes, sir. They're doing the right thing.
All right. Scotty D, what say you?
Yeah, that's a risky move because if Russell Wilson goes out and lays an egg and they lose to the Jets, then it looks terrible. You say, why would you interrupt the team chemistry? But clearly, Justin Fields was not doing enough offensively. They had the first 2 games, I think they won and scored 1 touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't throwing interceptions. He wasn't turning the ball over. He was taking care of the ball. but he was missing a lot of throws, stuff that doesn't always necessarily show up on the stat sheet as looking something that's glaring bad. But they saw enough of Russell Wilson in practice where they said this guy can still throw the football. He gives us a better chance. And immediately, Pittsburgh's best offensive weapon, George Pickens, came to life the second Russell Wilson got on the field. And early, it looked bad. Russ was a little rusty early and was getting some boo birds after a couple 3-and-outs early in the game. And then the Jets just fully cooperated with the Steelers by turning the ball over and doing dumb things. And all of a sudden, the Steelers got cooking. Russ started cooking. However, I'm still not ready to say that I'm convinced that he's that good at this stage in his career where they're going to still end up in the playoffs. I'm not ready to concede that just yet, because on the other side was a very miserable looking Jets squad, a team that was up 15-9, I believe, and then ended up not scoring again. A few years ago, Max Kellerman said when quarterbacks hit age 40, they fall off a cliff. And then Tom Brady came along and blew that out of the water and played another 5 solid years, winning a Super Bowl. He blew that whole narrative out of the water. But Tom Brady is one of one, and Aaron Rodgers is now 40, coming off of a major injury, and he looks like an old guy. He looks like he can't wait to get rid of the football. He looks uncomfortable in the pocket. He throws like, it almost reminds me a little bit of Ben Roethlisberger's last season, where he like throws quick passes like a dart, where he just shovels the football quick to the flat, gets it out. And when he throws it deep, it looks like it takes a lot of effort. And I don't care that they got Devontae Adams last week, even though Adams and Rodgers spent 7 years together winning a grand total of 0 Super Bowls together. Adams is not turning this team around. And what's the guy, Hassan Reddick? Is that the guy they signed on defense?
Yeah.
He's not turning them around either, because Aaron Rodgers is falling off the cliff. He is toast, boys. He does not look good. He might have some glimpses here and there, but he is not good.
So you're saying let Russ cook and Aaron Rodgers is cooked?
Is cooked. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
As the kids
Precisely.
say.
That's what the kids say. That's what the kids say. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question real quick, Scotty D. Because you say that you don't think the Steelers are in the playoff. Can you name 7 teams in the AFC that are better than the Steelers right now?
No, but the season is long, and they have not gotten to the teeth of the schedule where they have to play Baltimore twice, Washington at Philadelphia, Kansas City, the Bengals twice. They're still, I mean, they have a tough schedule, and some of these other teams may be still starting to hit their stride. And we can talk a little bit about that a little bit on Choices of Voices coming up here. But, yeah, I mean, a lot can happen. And I'm not totally convinced that Russell Wilson has a great performance in him week in and week out going into that tough schedule.
No. So, fellas, real quick, what do we think about, before we even get going any further, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, that is Deshaun Watson. So he got hurt yesterday. He tore his Achilles, and he left to a chorus of boos. And it's been the talk, not only on sports radio, but it was on R&B contemporary radio today as well, too. And I look at it like this. You boo poor performance. You boo that. Somebody getting hurt?
Yeah, they cheered it.
Yeah, and somebody and cheering him getting hurt, man, that's classless. But the thing about it is, like, I understand, Cleveland is a city, they want that win. They want that championship. They really want the Browns to be good. And for like the last 2 years, the window has been pretty much, has been there. They hired Kevin Stefanski. They got Jim Schwartz. Only bad thing they did was give Deshaun Watson a bunch of guaranteed money, and they kind of effed it up for the rest of the quarterbacks that wanted guaranteed money. So now you're dealing with a situation as to where Watson has been decent, and they're like, what, 1-6? They down there hanging out in the cellar with us, the Carolina Panthers. And so I just, you boo the bad performance. You're supposed to do that. You spend your hard-earned money to watch the game. You're there in attendance. You boo the bad performance. But as far as cheering him getting hurt, Cleveland, do better.
Yeah, but I can never advocate for cheering an injury, especially one that was as bad as he suffered.
Yeah.
But he kind of brought this on himself. He's not. He completely sullied his reputation with the whole massage thing that went on with many, many, many women. And then he held out of Houston because he wanted guaranteed money. And then he got traded to Cleveland for fully guaranteed money and has been terrible. Sadly, and this is not the nicest thing for me to say, him getting hurt might have been the best thing that happened to the Browns. Because now they're going to ride with Jameis Winston, who might give this team a little bit of a spark, give him some different looks. Stefanski's not locked into using Watson because Watson has all that guaranteed money and they're trying to play through it and get him back on track. That's all out the window now. Now the rest of the team can just play and see if maybe they can turn it around. I mean, they got a long way to go if they're going to make the playoffs or even be over 500. But at least now I feel like they're free of that burden that was Deshaun Watson. That's a sad thing to say because I don't like seeing that, but you never know.
This is simple to me. You don't wish ill will on anybody, but this is literally a weight off of the Browns fans' shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in a certain way, but this sounds bad for me to say Sean Watson's got his money.
Yeah.
He's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And the Browns might be better off without Watson for the remainder of the season. If this was a win-win situation for somebody to get injured, this is it. It's a win-win. The fans are no longer burdened. So at this point in time, Jameis Winston can come in on house money. He can be bad, good, indifferent. It doesn't matter. He can play free. And that's how Jameis Winston likes to play. The fans, hey, as a Panther fan, I get it. You know what was most frustrating about being a Panther fan this year?
What was that?
Was the brief spark that we got the first game Andy Dalton played because it gave us the biggest slice of false hope I've ever had in my entire life. I've never had so much false hope in my life. He came in and we won a game and it was like, oh, we can actually compete. And then the wheels fell off again. And now I'm sitting over here. I barely even watch football anymore because it's for what? Somebody tried to sell their Carolina Panther tickets at face value on Facebook the other day. I'm like, you're not getting face value for nothing when it comes to the Carolina Panthers right now. Sorry about your luck. It's just it's so Cleveland, you can play free. You've got a quarterback that has done some damage before, and just enjoy the ride. I know it sucks, and it's still gonna suck for another 2 years, I think. But heck, it should be a weight off your shoulders. Lowered expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ain't no doubt about that, man. Yeah, man. It's just I ain't want to talk about the Panthers. And to answer your question, no, I'm not waking up at 9:30 in the morning watching get their ass kicked in another country. Not gonna happen. No, I got stuff to do. And watching them lose ain't a part of it. See, Scotty, your Cowboys have potential to turn it around and be better. Us, we stuck with it, bro.
But here's the thing: it's the Giants. The Giants might be worse than us.
You think so?
I mean, I'm just saying. I feel bad for Germany. This is. I mean, this is what the NFL has to offer Germany. The Panthers versus the Giants.
Is it me or is it they always send the bad teams over there? The teams don't ever give a damn about.
They keep sending Jacksonville twice, so that's already a bad.
They've been sending Jacksonville for years, and
yes. They're like, please like this product and please take this entity off of our hands, please, somebody. They're gonna try to sell that. That's gonna be the Ryan fire before it's all said and done. All right, so all three of us did pick the Lions versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Now what team do we think has the best chance of proving us wrong?
I'm gonna go AFC side.
Okay.
I still believe in the Lions. The Lions just came off a massive victory against the last undefeated team in the NFC, the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have the pedigree to do it and still go all the way to the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs, of course, they are still undefeated. But if there was a team that was to stop the Kansas City Chiefs, I think the Baltimore Ravens want the Chiefs again. I think a second go round against the Chiefs, the Ravens will win. That was game one of the season. They hadn't gotten to their groove with Derrick Henry yet. Now they're in their groove. Derrick Henry leads the league in rushing. Lamar
Mm-hmm.
Jackson is eighth in the league in rushing. Their offensive line is doing what they're supposed to do. The Ravens are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and I think I'm hard pressed to find another team that is playing as good as the Ravens right now. So I see that the Ravens would be the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs and our predictions.
What say you, Scotty D?
I'm going to go a different route on this. I am going to still say I'm going to agree that I don't see anybody in the NFC knocking out the Lions right now. They look. Isn't that crazy? The Detroit Lions are the favorite to go to the Super Bowl. They are the best team in the NFC. Boy, there's some people waited a lifetime to hear that. Maybe the Packers, but I think the Lions handle them. I think the Lions are too hungry to let a division rival knock them out, and the 49ers are too banged up. The Cowboys are down. There's nobody going to knock Detroit out. The only team I think that could possibly derail our Chiefs Lions Super Bowl are the Buffalo Bills, because we wrote them off early. We were looking for other teams to take over that division. We looked at the Jets. We looked at Miami. We did not look at New England. We knew that wasn't happening.
No.
But all of a sudden, the Bills are under the radar. They don't have the pressure that's been on them the last couple of years, and they added Amari Cooper. So now there is a weapon for Josh Allen to throw the ball to. I think that if anybody can go to Kansas City and beat them, because if Kansas City locks up home field, the Ravens aren't winning there. Buffalo, they have it in them because they've been there before and they were so close. They are the one team that could derail this. Eddie Cool, what you got?
Man, look, it would have to be out the AFC because San Francisco looks a little suspect now. So I'm going to have to say, man, I'm going to have to roll B-Line, man. Baltimore looked real good. They're finally figuring it out with Derrick Henry. It's just as you said in the podcast last week, B-Line, they was doing this whole shotgun pistol formation. They said, no. You got a bell cow back there. Get that 300-pound fullback that y'all got on the roster, put him in front of Derrick Henry, and let Lamar hand that thing off and take some of it off of him, and let Derrick Henry do what he does best and run the ball. A lot of people have counted Derrick Henry out, but goody, look at you now. So I think if there's anything, I would say the threat would have to be coming from the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to win the division. Whoever they're going to play in the first round, and then they're going to – and you know what? We saw that they a big toe stopped them from beating Kansas City. So I won't be surprised they go back and get back at Kansas City. Are we ready to roll along, fellas?
Yes, sir.
With that being said, after this little break, coming up next, Be Live, Top 5. Stay. Don't you dare go away. We're coming back at you like bad breath in the morning, right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. I need some chapstick.
In the meantime, in between time, check us out on another platform because we got sports here, sports there, and all that whatnot. But on Wednesday, we just break it down a little bit and we talk about mental health. And we ask everyone to let's check in with the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast.
Feel free to join us. For more information, just check out our Wellness Check Wednesday page on Facebook. Click the link, and of course, let's check in.
Check in. See you on Wednesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, beekeepers, janitors, saute cooks, sous chefs, regional district area managers. This is the Be Live Top 5.
Oh, man, you know how much college football is near and dear to my heart. And, man, oh, man, we had another top 5 game that just came up. Unbelievable, man, oh, man. Texas versus Georgia. Texas said, you know what, we in the SEC now. We gonna do big things. Georgia said, hold my beer. Or how Lee Corso says it, not so fast. And Georgia said, hey, y'all must have forgot. We struggle only against Alabama. We don't struggle against anybody else. So let me show you what Georgia does and disrupts the whole thing. So I'm gonna come with it. The B line top five. Starting at number five, I've got Miami, the Hurricanes from the U. Man, oh man, boy, Miami is playing zero games. They keep handling their business. They keep winning the games they're supposed to win, whichever way, choose, shape, or form. Miami is your number five. Number four, I had you at number one. Man, oh man, you disappointed me. Y'all don't know which quarterback y'all want to go with. The Texas Longhorns. How you gonna bench the man? Don't bench your starting quarterback unless he's hurt. Not during the top five matchup. That's crazy to me. Don't do that no more. So Texas, get it together. There you got your first SEC loss, but everybody in the SEC has a loss. There are no undefeated teams in the SEC, and right now, lead the SEC is the Texas A&M Aggies. The Aggies are the top team in the SEC right now. Hey, who knows what's going to happen? That final game of the season, Texas versus Texas A&M, could be for everything. It could be, shoot, we don't know. It could be the precursor to the SEC championship. They could end up being a rematch. Who knows? Number three, I got to put you up there, Georgia Bulldogs. Y'all bounce back. If it wasn't for a atrocious first half against Alabama, y'all would still be the number one team. Y'all still be undefeated. So y'all had a bad 30 minutes of football, but you lost the game. But hey, you did what you were supposed to do against Texas. You got one loss in the SEC. If you finish strong, we'll see. We'll see. A lot of football left. Number two. This is the news to me, but hey, you're undefeated. You are playing defense. You finishing the games you're supposed to. Power Four conference. Penn State Nittany Lions. Hey, you haven't lost yet. So I got to put you up there. As much as I didn't want to, you haven't proven anything to me, but teams are losing. Penn State Nittany Lions at number one, just by default at this point in time. Oregon, you beat Ohio State. You were number two team in the nation. Number one team falls. Oregon, you are now the number one team in the nation. Will that continue? Who knows? But you know, there's an Oregon Penn State game coming up really soon. So you know how I like to shake things up. We shall see. But when there's a top five, there's also a not top five team.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
Of course there is.
The B-Live not top five.
Before we go into the not top five, I want to hear you fellas about my top five. What say you?
I like everything about it. I can't complain, none whatsoever. I was last week years old when I found out they said the hell with divisions and conferences, which makes sense, but then again, it makes things more competitive. But yeah, I'm overlooking at your top five. Be like, I got no issue, man. I got no whatsoever, man. But I can't wait to hear that not top five. Oh yeah, speaking of getting wins, Boomer Sooner, holla at your boy. Go ahead, be live.
I'm waiting on Scotty D to chime in and see what.
I gotta hold off on my opinion until Tuesday, because Tuesday night on ESPNU is Sam Houston at Florida International University, and I'm too geared up for that to even concentrate on this top five stuff. So go ahead, move on to the not top five.
Go ahead, be like
Sam Houston State versus Florida International. and this disrupts his top. Okay, see that?
It's just hard to concentrate when I know that game's coming up.
on ESPN Plus.
Can't stand him. I don't know why. Just okay. I'm good. I'm not. Ooh, disrespect my
Now
little.
do that not top five where you have a team that's in the top five also in the not top five. How
You are
go ahead and do that.
you
That
already know it. You
yeah.
already know it.
Because God
I'm
forbid a really good team lose to another really good team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, but it is what it is. I mean, they aren't who we thought they are, and I'm not gonna let them off the hook. Number 5, Texas Longhorns. Steve Sarkisian, I want you to explain to me, really explain to me why you bench your starting quarterback in a top 5 matchup. Yeah, I mean, so you don't want any type of continuity. You don't want any type of rhythm. You what? That's not a move you make. That's a move you make if you're on the lower tier level team and you're trying to spark like you're like, all right, I've tried this guy, it's not working out. This guy has won games for you. I know I've gotten reasons and other reasons behind it, but it just doesn't sit well with me when you bench your starting quarterback and then you go back to him. I don't know. Maybe was he hurt? Was he trying to recover? I didn't hear. Nobody told me. Number 4. Um, Alabama. Ooh, struggle against Vandy. You lost. I mean, not struggle. You lost against Vandy. Struggle against the Gamecocks. Even though you won, that was a struggle win against a lesser opponent. I said what I said, and then you lose to Tennessee. That's it. Kalen DeBoer. I know that was huge shoes to fill, but you're better than that. You're more talented than that. Get it together because it is a very slippery slope. Y'all don't mess around and not make it to the playoffs in a 12-team playoff. That's not Alabama. Has never been Alabama. And yeah, don't do it. Number 3. I don't even like putting them at number 3, but they were ranked really, really high to begin the season with how many players they lost. But they just keep losing, and I hate to say it. Sorry, but Michigan Wolverines, you just say you're almost in the same boat as Alabama right now. You switch over coaches, but y'all lost a lot of players. But I don't know why that you would rank that high to start the season, but it ain't working out for you. I'm sorry, overrated in my eyes. Number 2, Nebraska. What is it going to be? Are you back on the rise again, Dylan Rayola? What happened? Y'all supposed to be doing some things, and you ended up not doing some things, and my confidence level in you is done. But my number 1 overrated team in the country, hate to do it, but anytime you get blown out by the South Carolina Gamecocks, you're overrated to me. Anytime you got game chicken fans, Coop fans out here with their chest out, because here's the thing, they game chicken fans are over here singing your praises on how Oklahoma is some big blue blood and has all this storied history and all these things. I looked it up. They haven't won a championship since 2000. They've only won 4 championships. That's the only one they've won in the past 50 something years. That doesn't. And then this is what game chicken fans are saying. They are saying that Oklahoma has a storied tradition of winning. I'm like, yes, you won a lot when there was 3 teams in the Big 12. You can make that same argument about Clemson in the ACC, but you won't. Oklahoma somehow is a blue blood, but Clemson's not because y'all sipping on that garnet Kool-Aid. Oklahoma, any team that gets blown out by the game chicken is overrated to me. What say you?
I say a win is a win. I don't care if it's a blue blood, black blood, yellow blood, green blood. Don't matter. Gamecocks by 30. And that's what happened. That's what happened in Norman, Oklahoma on Saturday. You got beat. Welcome to the SEC. See, we got to put these newbies in check, B-Live. We got to put them in check. Y'all just can't come in here and be kicking stuff, taking stuff in the refrigerator. You can't be doing like you want to. You got to earn your way up in there. Scotty D, what say you?
Well, I would take Texas off the list of the not top 5, and I would put the Kennesaw State Owls. They're currently 0-2 in Conference USA. And they just dropped a 14-5 contest last week to Middle Tennessee. 14-5, that's a lame score. So they're 0-6. So I would put the Kennesaw State Owls in my not top 5.
What you're not going to do is you're not going to disrespect my nephew's alma mater. So let's not do that.
I mean, if we're being honest, they're 0-6 and overall. They've only scored 78 points so far in 6 games. So, yeah, Kennesaw State, it's just not their year. Nonetheless, I think if they would play Texas, I would take Texas. So I'm going to put Kennesaw State in my not top 5.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to keep it moving because
Yo, Button, hit it.
Yeah, because Eddie Cool keep it moving because he that's where he stands.
All right, and that being said, it's about that time once again for
Kennesaw State Owls.
Yep, looking at my watch, fellas. Yes, I got a watch this time. Guess what time it is?
What happened? What's going on? What time is it? What's that?
Man, I'm glad you asked. It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show. The choices of the voices is back. We remember to post a question. And with that being said, hey, old Button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming at you right here on Sports Bros Podcast.
He didn't put Pitt in his top 5. That's why I want to keep it moving.
They had a bye week, so I just laying off the topic for the week.
They had a bye.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful Amy. And
ever so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices.
Scott asked the question, damn near steals my gimmick. Y'all give us the answer, and we talk about it right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. If this ain't your favorite sports podcast, what you doing?
Yeah,
what you doing? Like you need to answer some questions. All right. That being said, Scotty D, since you want to talk, what's the topic this week's choices of the voices?
2 weeks in the making, what team with a losing record in the NFL is most likely to turn it around and make the playoffs? And Eddie Cool, there were a couple very reasonable answers.
All right, let's go ahead and get it kicked off with Tony Bogan. What's up, TB? Tony Bogan does a wonderful job of covering high school football up here in Northeast Ohio, man. He's one of the good ones. All right. He says the Cincinnati Bengals have the offense to turn things around, starting with the Browns on Sunday. Tony Bogan-Stradamus, you predicted it, and I guess the turnaround starts because the Bengals did beat the Browns right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Trina Dunn says the Bengals have the best shot. Maybe the Jets now that they added another Packer. You say she was a Packers fan, right?
She is a Packers fan.
Okay, so Mark Oles then said, I agree with it. Mark Oles, he says, I agree with the Bengals. That old QB is done, I think. You can throw a Hail Mary so often.
Yeah. He went along with my point of Rodgers being done.
Yep. Joey Jacobs, no relation to Josh. He says the Bengals.
Okay.
Our Hall of Famer Uncle Max, ain't heard from me in a while, man. Glad to see you again, man. He says, watch out for those Rams. Watch out for those Rams. And Jeffrey Lewis said, did anyone catch the significance of the question? I feel like it was asked due to the Jets' recent addition of Davante Adams. Rodgers is still ringing the bells, and I feel Adams still an elite player capable of turning it around. Speaking of ringing the bells, how about the NFC North? Scott Donnelly then said the significance is actually a coincidence. I asked the question on the show week before this trade, but I forgot to post it. Mentioned again on this week's show and posted it this week. Then the trade happened. And then Bill Kreider says, a newbie. Bill, what's up, Bill Kreider? He says the Washington Red Commanders skin football team.
Yeah, who have a winning record. So that's a we're throwing that answer right on out.
Yeah, that's
no. We ain't throwing nothing out. We don't throw answers out when it comes to the choices of the voices. We put them in the penalty box. You didn't read the question. So, yep.
I
Put them
think he's
right
trying to
from
be
them.
funny. I think we were getting trolled there.
I
Yeah.
don't give a I either you troll his ass right into the penalty box, and we gonna
Okay.
troll right back.
All right.
We're gonna
Fair
I'm
enough.
gonna bring the penalty box graphic back. It was funny. We had like the penalty box and people sitting there. Oh, so damn hilarious. All right.
you can troll if you want to. You be a permanent member. Oh, hey, shoot. Just trying to tell you.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody in their participation of this week's choices of the voices. And I'll go first. I think
Okay.
the Rams can turn it around because you got the Cardinals at 2-4. You got the San Francisco 49ers. I don't want to say I think they're on the ropes, but they're not. They just lost Brandon Ayuk. Don't know when they're gonna get Christian McCaffrey back. And I kind of sort of don't know what to make of Seattle because even though they beat the Falcons, I still don't know what to make of them. So if anybody can turn around quick, it has to be the Rams because they just need some Puka to get healthy. They need Cooper Kupp to get healthy, and once those two get healthy, and you guys Kyrie Williams in the backfield, Matt Stafford can figure it out. Now I think they can turn it around. What say you, Scotty D?
My answer is going to be also the Rams.
Okay.
Cooper Kupp is practicing now. He practiced Monday. So they're going to get him back for the Thursday night game against the Vikings. And Puka Nacua was listed out 5 to 7 weeks. It's been 5. So he will most likely be back within the next probably 2 or 3 games. But the Rams haven't shown me much, and a lot of that is because of the significant injuries there. But Kyron Williams is starting to run the ball well. But listen to here's my main reason for saying that over the Bengals, who still look shaky to me, and that's a team that I really have been big on. But the Rams' schedule, I think they can beat the Vikings on Thursday night. It's a home game, and the Vikings just got shown that they're not invincible. They just took a loss there. Following that, the Rams are going to play at Seattle, a very winnable game. Then the Dolphins, a very winnable game. Then the Patriots. Okay, then they get it Sunday night with the Eagles, could be a tough one. Then they're at the Saints, tough one with the Bills. So they're going to lose a couple of those games, but then they get the 49ers, Jets, and they finish the season with 2 games with the Raiders and the Seahawks. There is a good chance, if this team gets healthy, they can win 7 of those games, which will put them at 9 wins, which might be enough to win that division. I'm going Rams, B-Live.
I'm making unanimous. The reason why I'm picking the Rams because I'm looking at the division.
Right.
I'm just Seattle is not convincing me at 4-3. Arizona doesn't convince anybody. I think Marvin Harrison is their only good target. James Conner is a couple years removed from ever being good again. Just Kyler Murray, San Fran. I think they're on their 6th string running back at this point in time.
Yep.
Injuries on top of injuries.
All banged up.
Yeah. So I still haven't heard anything from Christian McCaffrey. It was like he might be that shining star. San Fran, I don't know. I just don't see it. And part of me wants to say the Bengals, but Baltimore is not playing games anymore with anybody. Pitt is actually being competitive. And so and they're doing it on defense, like at a high clip. I want to say, I'm doing a quick little mathematicals. The Steelers have the 3rd best scoring defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that's what's keeping defense wins championships, and Pittsburgh finds a way to win games. So it's just tough for Cincy. It's tougher for Cincy to bounce back than it is for the Rams. So that's why I'm going unanimous with the Bros at least.
Yep. So all 3 of us say the LA Rams don't make us look silly. Scotty D, what's on tap for next
Too
week?
late, way too late for that.
Well,
Atlanta, New Orleans.
I may have asked this question in the past. That's okay. I'm doing it again. But in the spirit of the fact that the World Series is beginning on Friday night, We're going to ask you to tell us one of your favorite, most memorable, or most exciting moments you've ever watched in the World Series. Give us a couple, and we'll talk about that next week, Eddie Cool. That'll give us something to talk about.
Swinging bats, baby. Here we go. We swinging bats right here on the Sports Bros podcast. Coming up next, B-Lab. Grab that pepper grinder because you know what time it is. It's time for a round of pepper before we get the hell up out of here. Right here on Sports Bros podcast.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
You heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, a round of pepper. You know how we do it, baby. 3 topics, rapid fire style. Kind of, sort of, not really. Here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order. I'll go first. On this day in history, back in 1992, the Atlanta Braves become the first American team to win Baseball World Series game outside of the United States, as they beat the Toronto Blue Jays 7-2 in Game 5 at Sky Dome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Getting that first World Series dub on foreign soil. Yep, the Bravos. That's the year the damn Blue Jays won. But anyway, let's leave here no there. Over to you, Scotty D.
All right, I want to talk about Joe Davis. Do you guys know who Joe Davis is?
I know who he is. He's a baseball guy, right?
He is. He has taken the lead play-by-play role on the Fox telecast for the NLCS with John Smoltz. And, you know, for a big chunk of my life, it was Joe Buck doing that role. And he just was synonymous with that part of this time of year. But this Joe Davis, I got to give this guy a lot of credit. He has sounded really good. He's done a remarkable job. Smoltz, solid as usual. I love listening to John Smoltz do postseason baseball, and I just wanted to give a shout out to a guy whose name I didn't really know until just recently. But Joe Davis is doing a fantastic job on the Fox telecast. Be Live, over to you.
Oh man, I appreciate good commentary. It absolutely is an addition to watching live sports. I love it so much. One of my dreams. I'm not that good at it. Yeah, I've been listening to Scotty D's commentary when he does it. Kudos to you, my friend. You do an excellent job when you do it, my friend.
Thanks.
My first pepper point. The New Orleans Saints set the world on fire their first 2 games of the season, beating the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys, putting 40 burgers on both of them, being 2-0, and had us all shocked and thought they were the next big thing. Since then, fooled us all. Fooled everybody. They're now 2-5, and they have fooled their own fans because a post went viral that the New Orleans Saints, because of their injuries, were holding open tryouts, and people started showing up in large numbers trying to be a New Orleans Saint, and to the point where one of the Saints players had to tweet, "Yo, this is not true. We got it. Y'all good." People kept pouring in trying for these tryouts to be a New Orleans Saints football player because the team needs help. Eddie Cool, the ball.
So, fellas, you remember last year we saw the Dolphins hang a 70 burger on the Broncos?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, on this day in history, back in 1950, the LA Rams beat the Baltimore Colts 70-27. Yeah. You know, wasn't that score similar to last year? Was it 70-20, I think? I think it was 70-20, if I'm not mistaken. So, the LA Rams with a 70 burger. I thought I was going to see a 70 burger a few weeks ago during high school football, but that's neither here nor there. So, this day in history, Rams give the Colts all they can handle and then some. Over to you, Scotty D.
Sacramento Kings guard De'Aaron Fox is due for free agency in 2026, but he recently passed on a 3-year, $165 million extension. 3 years, 165. He passed on that. Why would he do that? Because next year he could qualify for a 4-year, $229 million extension. Or if he makes the All-Star team, a 5-year, $345 million extension. Oh, why did I not go to Kentucky to play basketball? To have to do over again. Be Live, over to you.
Oh, man, my second pepper point is simply put, you got to look at it this way. Everybody talking about the trade that brought Devontae Adams from the Raiders to the Jets. What people didn't realize is that Devontae Adams and Devontae Adams trade brings an L from the Steelers because Devontae Adams lost twice to the Steelers in 7 days because they went for the Raiders that just beat the Raiders, and now the Steelers just beat the Jets, and Devontae Adams was a part of both of them. All right, Eddie Cool, the ball.
Third and final pepper point on this day in history. Back in 1999, NHL goaltender Grant Fuhr wins his 400th career game, and he defeats the Florida Panthers. I love Grant Fuhr. I didn't watch him when he played in Edmonton, but when he played in St. Louis, Grant Fuhr was something special. Over to you, Scotty D.
I saw him at Bullies one night, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh, Grant Fuhr.
Back when I used to go imbibe on occasion. So last Tuesday, Mr. Jared Jones got a little testy on a local radio show. Broadcasters evidently had the nerve to question some of his off-season choices. Mr. Jared Jones didn't like too much, even saying something to this extent of, well, I could get some new broadcasters. It's not your job to do that. No tact there. You can't take any kind of criticism in a job that is always criticized. And Jara, you haven't been past the divisional round in 29 years. You have to expect there might be some criticism floating around out there somewhere. Well, the following day, then he doubled down on that, saying it's not their place. It's not like I'm getting questioned by real fans. Well, Jara, I'm a real fan. How about talk to me? Talk to me. You're ruining my life right now. Because all I got is football or sports. That's all I got. Talk to me. These guys are asking you the questions on our behalf, the fans. Jara, please retire or cross the rainbow bridge or sell the team or something. You're killing me, man. Be live.
I know he's not on this podcast trying to cry. Oh, boy.
My third and final pepper point is also related to the Cowboys, but it's the pain of fantasy football. And this is not my team, but last week in reference to the Dallas Cowboys losing 47-9, they're on the bye week. I'm just going to name this particular person's fantasy football team from the week prior and just describe probably the worst fantasy football performance ever, because he had starting quarterback Dak Prescott. His two running backs were Ezekiel Elliott and Travis Etienne. His starting wide receivers was Chris Olave and Calvin Ridley. His starting tight end was Dallas Goedert. His flex player was Marvin Harrison Jr. His defense was the Dallas Cowboys, and his kicker was Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. In total, of all of those players, 1.22 points. That's
because he shouldn't even be in the NFL.
Either hurt during the game, negative points, or just god awful. Zeke got the second most points on the team. Third most points with 1.7. Dak Prescott got 3.22 as a quarterback.
He shouldn't be.
Travis Etienne got negative 0.1. Chris Olave got negative 0.5. Calvin Ridley got 0.9. Dallas Goedert got nothing. Marvin Harrison Jr. got nothing. Dallas defense got negative 7 points. And Tyler Bass got 3 points. 1.22. You just got to throw away the entire team at that point. Just don't play anymore.
Yeah, just retire. You got to hang it up.
Third and final pepper point. Fantasy football is not fair. It isn't. I don't like it. It hurts, especially to Jack Attack. Just let that team go. But there's no way you could recover getting players off of waivers to help that team. It's over for you.
You're done, bro. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Fantasy football. It's over. Yeah.
And with that being said, it's been another episode of the Sports Bowls podcast. And then in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They're greatly appreciated. Now, more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. This is your favorite sports podcast, the Sports Bros Podcast. Be Lab, take us home.
Let's go, Yankees.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Boo. Love you, Dad. Miss you. We got it from here. Except for the 49ers. They're terrible. They lost to the Chiefs. All right, cool. I'm out.
This is P. Come on, man. See y'all next week.